They came without warning, from the mist, from the sea, fast, silent, relentless. They didn't just raid. They reshaped Europe. Kingdoms fell, cities burned, and for centuries, their name meant one thing: fear. This is the story of the Vikings and how they changed the world. In 793, a small island monastery off the coast of England was attacked. This was Lindisfarne. It was a place of peace, a center of learning and religion, and it was almost completely undefended. When the Vikings arrived, they moved quickly. They killed monks, took valuables, and burned parts of the settlement. The attack shocked the Christian world. Contemporary sources described it as a sign of divine punishment, but it marked something else: the beginning of the Viking Age. The Vikings came primarily from Scandinavia, modern-day Norway, Denmark, and Sweden. Several factors drove their expansion: limited farmland in harsh northern climates, population pressure, political instability, and a culture that valued warfare and reputation. But their greatest advantage was mobility. Their longships were fast, shallow, and highly maneuverable. They could cross open seas and travel deep into rivers. This allowed them to strike quickly and disappear before armies could respond. By the mid-9th century, Viking raids turned into full-scale invasions. In 865, a massive force known as the Great Heathen Army landed in England. This was no small raid. It was a coordinated campaign. The army moved through Anglo-Saxon kingdoms, capturing key cities. In 866, they took York, a major political and economic center. Kingdoms began to fall. Northumbria collapsed. East Anglia followed. Mercia weakened. Only one kingdom held firm: Wessex. Viking attacks were not limited to England. In 845, a Viking fleet sailed up the River Seine toward one of the most important cities in Europe, Paris. The force was led by Ragnar Lodbrok, a figure who would later become one of the most famous names in Viking history. The Vikings bypassed coastal defenses and moved inland using their longships. When they reached Paris, the city was poorly defended. They launched a direct assault. The Frankish king, Charles the Bald, attempted to resist, but his forces were defeated. Rather than risk the destruction of the city, he made a decision. He paid the Vikings a massive ransom, reportedly around 7,000 pounds of silver. The Vikings withdrew, but the message was clear: no city was safe. Even the heart of a kingdom could be reached. Viking warfare was not just about strength, it was about psychology. Their sudden raids created fear across Europe. Monasteries, often undefended, became prime targets. But over time, European kingdoms adapted. They built fortified towns, improved communication, and created standing forces to respond faster. What began as shock slowly became resistance. The defense of England fell to Alfred the Great. At first, he struggled. Viking forces pushed deep into his territory, but Alfred adapted. He reorganized his army, built fortified towns known as burhs, and improved defenses across his kingdom. In 878, the two sides met at the Battle of Edington. Alfred's forces defeated the Viking army led by Guthrum. The result was a turning point. A treaty was established, and large parts of England came under Viking control, known as the Danelaw. The Vikings did not only attack England, they spread across Europe. To the west, they reached Ireland and established settlements like Dublin. To the east, Swedish Vikings, known as the Rus, traveled deep into river systems, reaching Byzantium. Some even served as elite guards for the Byzantine emperor. In 911, a Viking leader named Rollo was granted land in northern France. This region became known as Normandy, the land of the Northmen. Over time, Vikings didn't just raid, they settled, they traded. They became part of the societies they once attacked. The Viking world stretched even further than Europe. Around the year 1000, Norse explorers crossed the Atlantic. Led by Leif Erikson, they reached a land they called Vinland. This is believed to be part of modern-day North America. Archaeological evidence at Lanceau Meadows confirms that Vikings established a small settlement there. It was the first known European presence in the Americas, centuries before Columbus. The settlement did not last. Conflicts with local populations and the distance from Greenland made it difficult to sustain. But it showed something remarkable. The Vikings were not just raiders. They were explorers who reached the edge of the known world. By the 11th century, Viking power began to decline. Kingdoms in Europe had adapted, defenses improved, armies became more organized. In 1066, a final major invasion attempt was launched by Harold Hardrada. He was defeated at the Battle of Stamford Bridge. It marked the end of large-scale Viking invasions. The Viking Age was over. But their impact never disappeared. They reshaped trade routes, founded cities, and left their mark across continents. From raiders to rulers, from outsiders to settlers, they arrived as a storm and became part of the world they once terrified. The Vikings were not just warriors, they were builders of history.